Hey everyone, Shannon here. I'm doing something a little different today for Friday's Food for Thought. I've been doing a lot of motivational talks and perspective to get us to cope, but let's talk about coping with sales. And so today I'm going to talk about the 5 tips to really help you boost your virtual sales. We actually had a webinar on this topic, but I wanted to add a little bit more. So let's begin with the first tip, and I'm going to go ahead and just advance to the next slide here. So acting naturally, practice solo. Just create a session, and you can do that using Loom or even a Zoom meeting that you record. That's one way to do it. The other is look at the camera. I want to be focused and make the recipient feel that they're the only person in the world that's important at that time. The other is to watch your body language and your posture. So if they got more of than just your head and shoulders, make sure you're sitting up straight. Make sure you're not slouching, that your shoulders aren't, slumped down. So you can have your shoulders a little bit more broad and set back, men and women. And then improve your lighting with Loom Cube. Now, today I'm in a pretty well lit room. My friend Ty was kind enough to loan me a number of his lights. But the Loom Cube is something that you can purchase online. I think they're about $50. Just look up Loom Cube. You can see it there. And it gives you a lot of flexibility. You can put it on a tripod, or you can actually clip it onto your laptop. Or in this case, it looks like she has an iMac in this commercial photo. And that will really bring a sense of professionalism when people are looking at your video. The second tip is to set the stage. So how do we do that? Well, decide what technology you're going to use at first. Is it going to be Zoom? Is it going to be Loom Video? So I'm going to show you Zoom really quick. So once you create a Zoom account, and I'm not going to go through all the steps today, I know that you'll be pretty good at doing that, you can create a new meeting. And so you can send this ahead of time, or I'm just going to go ahead and start a meeting right now. All right, so I've started my Zoom meeting. By the way, there's a group of about 20 of my friends, and we all do this every Friday night, chit-chatting and catching up because we don't socialize in person anymore due to the shelter in place. So the Zoom meeting is a really good way to go about it, but you want to have a couple of caveats when you do this. One is that you can actually record the session, which is pretty cool. The other is that you can change the background. So I'm going to click here, change the virtual background, and I'm going to change it to one, maybe if I'm talking to a college professor. Check this out. And it looks a little strange, but this is a virtual background, and I look like a very learned, studied person. And so the Zoom really works well. You want to make that experience a little bit more personal with the Zoom sessions. Consider the audience. So if the individual, is living in a certain region, you can change it to a background. Maybe they're in the Pacific Northwest, and you can pick Mount Rainier. Now you can, again, record. And so I'm just going to go ahead and type record. And then you're going to see right here on the top, it says recording. And then I can stop that, and when I'm done or when I finish the meeting, Zoom actually converts it into an MP4. But be sure to check on the limitations on the size. So the third tip is, what is the first sale? Good question to ask yourself. Know it before you begin creating your Loom, and the Loom is the recording software, and we'll show that here in just a moment. But what is it you want them to do? It's perhaps the most important question. And what sale are you asking for? Are you asking for them to commit to do the application, or maybe another meeting? And when you do that, how are you going to digitally engage? So you want to decide, how am I going to transmit these documents for the signing? How am I going to get the signing accomplished? And number 4 is creating a deck, just like I'm showing you right now. So this deck is the slides, or you could say a PowerPoint. You can use your PowerPoint, and they don't mind if they see the navigation control. So if I go like this, it's really not the end of the world. They'll understand. They just appreciate it. But make sure you have really simple and clear visuals, much like the ones I'm using today. Easy to read. It keeps their attention. And if you're doing it on Loom, be particularly careful knowing that they might be distracted versus a live teleconference using Zoom. Very similar names, but Zoom is teleconference. Loom is a recording of you and the screen, such as the one I'm doing right now, that is sent by email. Lastly, you want to send them a thank you, and I would really suggest using Loom to do this. Thank them for their time and mention the next meeting. Here, I'm just going to go ahead and create a quick thank you. So I might have their graphic on the screen. Always mention the next appointment or the next action that they're going to be taking. So hopefully this will help you when it comes to creating engagement using virtual sales. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today, and if these tips are useful or if you have something to add to that, be sure to leave it in the comment section. And don't forget, you can share this video with other reverse mortgage professionals that can benefit from today's episode. Thanks again. Have a great weekend.